everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to do a quick flip through of some of my artwork. I started painting again in lockdown in 2020. I did paint a lot when I was younger, but I'm really enjoying it. I paint pretty much every weekend, so I'm just going to flip through some of my books and artwork. I'll start with this little pouch here. So these are just some doodles and watercolour swatches. Just some scenery. And they were just basically little testers that I was trying out. Okay, and then we've got, this is just basically a mixed bag of things. So this is with brush pens, so it's just a Christmas wreath and a front door. And this was a pencil sketch, which I might paint one day. And this is just a floral design on watercolour paper with watercolours. I don't really like the colours of this one. And that was some practice wreaths for the door. Practice canna lily that didn't go very well. This is Santorini. This was actually on, I think it was oil paper, but it's got quite a nice texture to it. But I'm quite impressed with the I can't remember what they're called, bougainvillea. I'm quite impressed with how they came out, and I think it's quite obviously Santorini, so I'm quite happy with that one. Just a little test of colours and a floral design. Another small sketch. A lot of these are just testers. Practicing trees. I'm terrible at trees. I can't get the hang of them. That was practicing florals. I wish I'd dated some of these because I don't know when they're from. Acoustic guitar. This is just a field. See if I can zoom out a bit. Yeah, just a field of flowers, like a little farmland, I suppose. I wasn't that happy with that one either. I struggled to do the flowers basically, to make them look good. This is one of the very first florals that I did. This is a place that we visited in Corfu. I was really happy with that one. That was quite an early one too. I really like pen and watercolour. This was another early floral. Another doodle. This was some leftover Dulux paint testers, and I just painted with watercolour over the top. And this is from Emma Block's book Watercolor. I can't remember which one it was. The first watercolour one, can't remember the name of it. And then we've got this big sketchbook, which unfortunately, these are my favourite sketchbooks, and they do exist, but they're not in stock anywhere in the UK. And I'm not gonna pay to get them shipped over, so it's quite sad really, but I love the paper. I don't know if you can see the texture of it. It's quite smooth. I don't think that's coming up on camera. That might be a bit better. It's quite smooth. It's got a little bit of like visual texture, but you can't really feel it. So these are just some florals. This is my favourite. This is one of my favourites that I've ever done. Painting white flowers as well. Some acorns and some black-eyed Susans, I think they were. These two were inspired by Shada Campbell. She is my absolute favourite, as you've probably guessed. This is Shada Campbell as well, just some autumn foliage and flowers. This one is an original, so it's just a sleeping fox in some foliage. I really like that one. And then we've got some eucalyptus. That was my first try out with gouache. And these are Christmas dogs. And that was I think that was a De Winton Paper Co. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. I think I might have changed a few of them a little bit, but not very much. So yeah, it's based on De Winton Paper Co. And this little sausage dog is so cute. He looks like he's doing up to something. And this one here, I like that one too. The little hush puppy dog. Okay. And then this was De Winton Paper Co.'s advent calendar, watercolour advent calendar. I thought that was a brilliant idea. Really good practice, really nice to sit down. What I did was sit down at the weekend and catch up. So I do like 7 days in a row, but I thought that was a really nice project. These were De Winton Paper Co. as well, little robins, some better than others. Little polar bears, De Winton Paper Co. again. These are originals. These are some scenery. I'm quite pleased with these. I'm quite happy with those. Should probably do some more of those. This was based on I think her name is, I think you pronounce it Lois Davidson on YouTube. That was a tutorial by her. And this was when I started getting into pen and ink. I just think it's such a great combination. So it's just a little snowy village. Some birds. This was based on somebody's YouTube video. I can't remember who it was though, but it's Amsterdam. I like the colours in that one. And this is based on Shader Campbell's tutorial, Oranges and Orange Flowers. This was, I think I abandoned this, but I'm not sure why. Not sure. And that one as well. And that one as well. It's strange how sometimes you look back on things and you wonder why you've abandoned them. That's just a floral. I don't think that was based on anything. I think that's just made up. And this was a Shader Campbell tutorial as well. She does a lot of tutorials that are sort of a lot of flowers in one video, which make a really nice page in your sketchbook. And this is a Lewis Davidson one as well. This one is Shader Campbell. So the background is gouache, and I think some of the accents on the flowers are gouache as well. So that was really nice to try out something different. Leaf practice. This was Shader Campbell as well, so I don't know if you can see, but there are some sort of silhouette leaves in white, and that was done with masking fluid. And that is, I think that's gouache, but it's really bad quality gouache. It looks like poster paint. That was butterflies that I hated. That was butterflies that were better. That's based on a Shader Campbell tutorial again. That's a landscape of a church. That's unfinished because I wasn't happy with it. This is a much darker version of that. I really don't like that. It gives me bad vibes. So that's that sketchbook. And I've got a little Arteza sketchbook. Again, can't get hold of these, really annoyed. So this is watercolour and pen and ink. This was De Winton Paper Co. Geraniums. Peter Rabbit, that was a drawing tutorial from someone on YouTube. I think it's Learn How to Draw Anything or something like that. It was just Peter Rabbit and I added the flowers based on what I painted here. So I'm quite pleased with that one. I think it's quite nice. Some pansies, I think that was Shady Campbell. That was just our garden. More florals, Shady Campbell. And again. Most of these are inspired by Shady Campbell. Quite like that one. I was really pleased with this one. It's peonies. I'd always found them really difficult to paint, and this day I just got them. Just sort of understood it, but haven't been able to paint them properly since. So, some nice roses. Tiny painting. Lemons. This is a shop in our town. Pumpkin. That was Shady Campbell as well, I think. And these and this. Oh, I can't wait till autumn. Mushrooms. This was Shady Campbell as well, gouache and watercolor. Really bad cats, but at least I tried. This is I'm quite pleased with this one. It's a circular sort of meadow. I really like the colours in that. That was Shady Campbell as well. That was sort of in aid of Ukraine, Ukrainian colours. This was experimenting with salt on watercolour. So I don't know if you can see, but you can sort of get a granulating effect with salt, and it works better on some than it does on others. It also depends how long you leave the paint to dry. So that's quite a nice little experiment if you want some granulation. And this was inspired by, I think it's Lucy Clare illustration, but I might be wrong. I really like this effect, the little dotted flowers. They're so simple but look really effective. This was just playing around with colours, a smaller version of the bigger painting. And this was when I realised that I work better in small sketchbooks. There's a garden cart. That was from Emma Block's book as well. And this one was from Emma Block's book. And that is a sketch that I need to paint, and so is that one. It's an iris. That was shader. Daffodils was Shady Campbell as well. That was Shady Campbell. So you can see there's not a huge amount of original work yet, because I am still practicing. Forest, I think that was Emma Lefebvre. Tulips. Initial. These are swatches. These are inspired by Natasha Newton. She does egg swatches, or pebble swatches, sorry. It sounds a bit better, pebble swatches rather than egg swatches, doesn't it? Yeah, this is just testing out some paints that I got from Jackson's. Roman Small are a really good brand of paint in my opinion. I'm not a professional or anything, but I am impressed compared to Winsor and Newton Cotman. I think they're much better quality, much more pigmented. And this is De Winton Paper Co. It's Shady Campbell, more detailed pansies. That was Shady Campbell as well. That was a better cat. Still not totally happy with it, but this is a bumblebee. That was Shady Campbell as well. I think that was one of her Patreon videos. Her Patreon is well worth joining if you love art, because it's just such a nice nice environment. And one of the tiers, the tier I'm in, I think is the highest one, you get a live art hour with her every month, which is really nice. It's on a Thursday evening usually. Well, I'm in the UK, so it's in the evening. Canada time I think is about 4 in the afternoon. But she'll just do a live for an hour and you can paint along with her, or you can just sit and watch with a drink and a snack. This is Wisteria. I think I went a bit over the top with this one, but yeah, not sure. I like the shades of purple though. This was based on a photograph that my dad sent me. It's Cornwall, and that was, the flowers are gouache and the rest of it is watercolour. I'm quite pleased with that one. This is De Winton Paper Co. I think that was one of her Patreon tutorials. She does quite good tutorials where she splits them up into sort of a little bit each week. So I think this one was over 4 weeks. So I can't remember what the first bit was. I think it was the trees, or no, it was drawing the sketch, and then it was the trees, and then it was the front bit, then the church. Actually, this one might have been quite a lot of parts because she did the roof and the brickwork, and yeah, really, really good, because it means you don't have to sit down for hours, excuse me, doing the same painting. You can just do a little bit each week, which is really good. This is Woodstone Manor in Buckinghamshire. I wasn't very pleased with that, so I did it again, as you'll see in a minute. Some trees, De Winton Paper Co. Tree textures, that was De Winton Paper Co as well. And this is Woodstone Manor again, which I'm so much more happy with. I got some test prints of this done and they were really lovely. Not that I've got anyone to buy anything yet, but I am looking into it. Obviously my original work, not the tutorials. This is De Winton Paper Co. This is a pigeon. This was original. That was one of Natasha Newton's Patreon challenges, to paint a pigeon. So that's what I did. And this is more pebble swatching again, not egg swatching, of some more paints from Jackson's Art. And this was Roman Small again. So we've got cobalt, deep violet, lavender, mineral violet, Payne's grey, and transparent turquoise. And then I sort of mixed them together and saw what colours I could get out of them. This transparent turquoise and Payne's grey is lovely. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's like a really deep turquoise if you mix those together. Puffins, that was De Winton Paper Co. I think that was a Patreon one, can't remember. Garden Herbs, that was Shada Campbell. I think she just did the pens, the pen outlines, and I just added the little swatches. Strawberry is De Winton Paper Co. That's an original. That's a little garden, it's not all wildflowers. There were some lovely big roses and things as well. It's by a church where I live, and it's just a lovely little garden, community garden. And this was De Winton Paper Co.'s Patreon tutorial, and they are rosehip and blackberry. They're sort of quite classic looking, which I really liked the style of. I really like the sort of detailed as well as the loose style. This is Shada Campbell. This was gouache again. I'm very new with gouache, so I haven't done a huge amount. And this is York Minster, which I've cut out for my sketchbook because I scanned it in to get prints as well. Print samples, sorry. Ignore my scribbles, that was just testing out ink. Yeah, this is watercolour and pen again. As I said, I really like the contrast of the pen and the watercolour. I think that's really nice. I did post this on a York Photos group, and it got over 1,000 likes, and then I got cut off from liking or commenting anything on the page. So I don't think they were very happy with that, but a couple of people said they wanted to buy a copy, so we'll see what happens. But so that's it. That's all of my art up to now, and hopefully I'll make a shorter video in the future when I finish my next sketchbook. Thank you for watching. Bye.